I got to Kelowna, and then I had issues at the border control. I rocked up and they were asking me like, what am I up to? Going to Canada, let's do it. Hawaii at the moment.
Okay, what brings you here?
The Great Canada Fruit Festival.
Where's that?
Okanagan, BC. First one ever.
What are you doing at?
I'm presenting.
Presenting what?
Some like exercise classes, some workshops about health and fitness, stuff like that.
Did you have a letter or anything from whoever's bringing you? Who's bringing you here?
Like who's picking me up?
Yeah, like how'd you find out about this? How'd you get hired to do this?
One of my good friends is putting on this festival, first one ever, and yeah, he asked me if I wanted to be a presenter because we, you know, connected in the past and we have. Aloha, everybody. I'm here somewhere in Canada. It's beautiful though. I'm in Victoria, British Columbia, near Kelowna. I'm staying at this cabin that I believe Ted rented out, or either his family owns it, I don't know, but I've been hanging out with some peeps before the festival. And yeah, man, I kind of ran into some trouble. Not necessarily here, like, you know, hanging out with friends and stuff, but I ran into some trouble at the airport. What ended up happening is as soon as I flew in from a long 20 hours of travel time from Hilo, Hawaii, I got to Kelowna, and then I had issues at the border control. I rocked up and they were asking me like, what am I up to? And it's kind of a way to inspect and investigate, you know, travelers from other countries into Canada. And I told them I was here to work. I was here on a business trip. I was here to present at the Canada Fruit Fest as planned. And you know, the border control told me I couldn't do that without a work permit. Now, of course, in my mind, there's an easy solution. Okay, it's like, all right, I can't present, I can't work here. All right, let me be an attendee. Let me just go to the festival. But they were like, nah, we know how this goes. Typically, when people say they're going to go attend instead of work, they usually bite us in the ass and lie to us and end up working anyway. So this is the best thing we could do for you. We can either deport you right now and send you back to the US, or you can stay here until Friday, day before the festival starts, or the morning of the festival starts, and then fly out and get deported. Or you could just get a 1 to 5 year ban from Canada. So they were like really harsh on me. I didn't feel like, you know, lying to them was a good idea, and I didn't think lying was necessary about my stay here. And yeah, so it's Thursday evening. I'm supposedly supposed to be flying out tomorrow morning out of Canada and go back to the US, and then who knows what I'm gonna do there until the Woodstock Fruit Festival. But yeah, man, I have my passport. I have to show up at the airport at 9:30, and then they're gonna fly me out. Super bummer, guys. It hurts, dude. It hurts. I was really looking forward to presenting. I was really looking forward to working and honing in my skills as a speaker and as a presenter, but not this year. It hurts a little bit, but unfortunately I've been enjoying my time here before the festival, which has been pleasant. But you know, we're gonna try to put up one more fight tomorrow morning. We're gonna try to really make it clear that I'm just attending. Maybe I have another shot to make myself, you know, attend the festival by actually buying a ticket, getting an email sent from the founders of the Canada Fruit Fest to the Border Control, and having them let me in. I mean, jeez. Yeah, it sucks, man. But what are you gonna do? You just gotta move on and just focus ahead. And I hope I can come back next year if I can't do it this year, and we'll have it all settled properly. But yeah, just want to update you guys on that. So not a lot of footage from the Canada Fruit Fest, but I hope you enjoyed this interview because it's the best content I've gotten since my during my stay here in Canada. So thank you guys for watching. Sorry if you were looking forward to seeing me at Canada Fruit Fest, but it didn't happen this year. But I'll be back better next year. You know, didn't get my shot this year, but I'll be back better. Always growing. Thank you guys.
Hello guys, this is Konstantinos with Higher Self Manifesto on how to lift yourself and lift others. And today with me I have Gitis. Welcome Gitis, how are you doing?
Aloha, I'm doing really good.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Thank you for being here. So you're staying in Hawaii, right? What are you doing right now?
I'm currently residing in Hilo, Hawaii on the Big Island. You know, I just have fun and work on my online business. That's what I do mainly there for work. And, you know, over the course of my, you know, life, you know, as young as I am, you know, I've always have a drive to go towards my passion and make sure I'm doing what I want to be doing every single day. And Hawaii has really nice things it offers, great weather, good fruit, and it allows me to live by my passions, and my passions have a lot to do with endurance sport, and you know, I like being able to go outside and train all year round. So not only am I an athlete, but I also coach cyclists, so I like to share my passions with other people as well.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, let's jump straight into it.
Yeah, let's go for it.
First of all, what are your best 3 things or tricks you do in order to get back into your higher self?
Right.
And how do you define higher self personally?
All right, so I'll start out by defining my higher self. My higher self is when I look at myself in the mirror and I'm so proud and happy with myself that I'm able to say, I love you, that I'm able to say I love myself. And, you know, in those states where I'm telling myself I love myself, you know, it's not truly unconditional. I'm going to be 100% honest. And some people, you know, might judge that, you know, negatively or positively, but, you know, I find that for me to be in my higher self, I need to be doing exactly what my heart desires, exactly what I want to be doing. The times where I'm, you know, resenting myself or hating myself or mad at myself is the times when I might be lazy to go do something that I'm really chasing after, or I'm not looking after myself. So the definition for me, being at my higher self, is doing what my heart truly desires to do in each moment. So for me to get to my highest self, the first thing, you know, before you can really get into, like, you know, productive strategies or a daily routine, you need to take care of yourself. Self-care needs to be, that box needs to be ticked. You want to make sure you've gotten enough sleep, you're hydrated, you're consuming the right amount, the right foods that are fueling you properly. So after that, you settled all that, and you got your self-care needs, you got your connection, your sunshine, your health, your fitness, you got all ticked off. Then it's time to go into purposeful work. And for me to get to my highest self, I also need to do what my heart desires, and that has to do with purposeful work. So when my self-care needs are met and I have the energy, I have the strength, then I try to incorporate certain strategies and routines into my life. When I'm at my highest self and when I'm there, I have a really solid, structured daily routine every morning. I do not wake up every morning and just go straight on my phone and start scrolling Instagram. That is not a good way for me personally to start my day. I gotta make sure my routine is solid. I wake up in the morning, I brush my teeth, I go meditate. Literally take 10 minutes and do my best to meditate. I'm not the greatest meditator. My mind's always running, but it's the practice itself that kind of develops discipline and work ethic. And after meditation, maybe have some breakfast. If I need to get some fuel in me, maybe I had a light dinner the day before. It'd be a fruit meal. It'd be something healthy, and then I'd go into purposeful work. And for me, it could either be a cycling training session, could be a running session, or it could be an intensive creative project online, creating a meal plan, creating a training plan for an athlete, or creating a YouTube video to help share my message. So, having that structured daily routine, I get into my purposeful work. When I run into adversity, I don't get on my phone and start distracting myself or start watching YouTube videos. I have this structured routine. Like maybe I'll give myself the window while I'm eating dinner to watch a YouTube video. So it's really important for me not to consume any social media content. Listen to yourself. Like if today is the day to work on your project, you go out there and you get it done. So having that structured daily routine definitely helps me be at my highest self. The third thing that gets me to my highest self is positive self-talk. You run into adversities every single day. I read a quote last night before I went to bed. It just popped up on Instagram, and sometimes you realize, like, why is my road so challenging? Because your purpose is bigger than you thought. If you have really big goals, big dreams, you're gonna run into adversities, and you gotta understand that the adversities are the things that shape you as a person. So I always try to keep that in perspective. Always looking at the positive of adversities, and always being your best coach. Like you run into adversities, you persevere, and you always come back. You always come back to that, excited, productive self. So. Three things that get me to my highest self: self-care, a structured daily routine, and positive self-talk.
Lovely, thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, what are your best 3 things or tricks you do to get back into your lower self?
Yeah, man.
Why you don't do that?
Why I don't do that?
Yeah.
Well, I don't do that because it wreaks havoc on my health emotionally, mentally, and physically. And the 3 things that get me to my lower self is, for me, it's addictive behaviors and, things that are stimulating and don't bring any purpose. For me, consuming a little bit of social media is fine, watching a YouTube video for dinner, it's cool, but when we're on our phones, scrolling the Instagram feed, not knowing why we're doing it, not knowing why we're bored or angry at ourselves for doing this, that's a way for me to get to my lower self, is getting back into addictive behaviors that don't serve any good for me. So, it would be like scrolling social media. Also, I'll get into like kind of something personal, like something, social that's between me and others. what gets me to my lower self is when I don't express my exact feelings to others. So if I have any resentment towards them, or I dislike a quality in someone, and it's affecting me, I have to express it. If I don't express it, I'm getting down to my lower self, and these negative thoughts are running through my head. And I think it's always important to express it to people, because then, what are your other alternatives? You bottle it in, and
Recycle it.
it kind of hurts you over time. You might be scarred in that way towards other people in the future that have these qualities. But everyone, is how they are, and I think it's important to express those things. So that's one other thing that I make sure, or that's another thing I would say gets me to my lower self, is not expressing my true emotions with someone, relating to my relationship with them. And the third thing that gets me to my lower self is, it's going to bed too late. It's not listening to my body when it needs rest or when it needs food. When I'm focused on, cutting weight, focusing on my looks, sometimes I'll get obsessive about it. Like I'm gonna be honest, like I care about the way I look. And I've definitely had some like unhealthy behaviors around, trying to have a really not like good body image. And I've restricted calories in the past. Sometimes I'm in the sun a little bit too much.
Yeah.
And it's hurting my body. So it's another way that gets me to my lower self, is like when I'm not looking after myself in the right way, and I have this perception in my head of how I want to be or how I want to look, and it might not be exactly the healthiest thing. So that's another way to get to my lower self, is not looking after myself in the proper way. Yeah.
Lovely. Okay, now how did the lowest moment in your life felt like?
So there was this video I posted. It was a month or two ago. I don't know if you saw it. I don't know if many people at this festival saw it, but it was a video that I felt like I was sharing my lowest point, on my journey, in my life. I felt like I shared my lowest point. I live in Hawaii, and it's like this tropical paradise, but there's also a lot of isolation there. I was living in a tiny home in a cabin, like in the boonies. Like there's no one around. Didn't really have any social connections, and got into unhealthy behaviors, just overtraining, overworking, undereating, and and it was just overall that time there where I spent at this tiny house down south of the Big Island. I reached some points where I had like anger tantrums. Just mentally I was not in a healthy place, and there was a point where I threw such a big tantrum that I ended up kicking a handrail as hard as I possibly could, and my foot ended up swelling up really bad. And that night, I couldn't even walk. I couldn't even put my foot down and walk. Like I had to jump on one foot and crawl to the bathroom, and I'm just like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Because my passions are fitness.
Yep.
I share these passions with others. This is my life, this is my job, and now look what I did. Just out of anger and out of stupidity, really, I kicked something and I injured myself. Now the fortunate thing is it was really weird, and I just think my body's extremely efficient at recovering. Even though I couldn't walk that night, the next day the swelling went down and I was able to walk. It was really bizarre, but in that moment, it taught me that, it taught me to look after myself. That's the main thing. And also not to beat myself up about things, because the reason why I hit anger tantrums, I don't think it's necessarily because I got angry at someone or something. I think I was just unhappy in the moment. And when I'm not following my heart's desires to get rest or to do that productive work, not only am I energetically affected by it, but I sometimes also beat myself up about it. So you know, it taught me to like relax a little bit. You know, you don't need to stay up till 2 a.m. and edit a video if you don't want to, and it's gonna like make you feel like shit. Like, look after yourself. Like, go to bed early. Go to bed at 10. Go to bed at 9. Wake up and then do the work. But that lowest point, that was my lowest point, and taught me to look after myself more.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
And it's really nice how many great insights come from these lowest points. So
Yeah.
and you get like you only bend for you to jump afterwards, like to take the momentum. At least this is what I found. It's good.
What it really like was helpful is that like I actually share this video like in the moment. I filmed my foot and I told people what I did. These are people that look up to me. These are some people that I coach, and I expose myself like that. And I was like, hey, I might seem like I have a good life. Like, I work online, I live in Hawaii, but I have my own struggles too, and I don't want to make it seem that just because I'm riding my bike, eating healthy, that all is good. There's a lot of internal work that needs to go on, and I feel like people can relate to that more, and it kind of allowed me just to be genuine with people and not front someone that I'm not. Like, this is who I am, this is what I'm going through, and I hoped it helped other people to, see that we're all in this together.
Exactly. That's the whole point of this project, and yeah, that's basically what I'm trying to share as well. Like, no matter how perfect someone, we're all going through the same patterns, like the same low points, and it's up to us to make it like balance out and maybe go upwards in the long term. So I love that you are genuine about it and you share that, and it means a lot to be like in that space.
Yeah.
Say, hey, you're still in your purpose. Like, you were there and you shared the video just with your following, and because this is your job as well, this is your purpose, right? And you share that, so you showed them that, hey, exactly that, as you said, like we are in this together. So you were there and still you went into a meta state, following your purpose while you were there. So this is huge.
It is, yeah.
This is huge. So wow.
Thanks for the compliment.
Yeah, definitely. That's really nice.
I appreciate it.
Wonderful.
I think, self-awareness is key. And I understand how much videos like this and videos online you share can be so impactful to people. You know, I don't want to be sharing a certain lifestyle that is actually making me unhappy and then leading people to something that, you know, wasn't actually what they were looking for. So I want to be honest about my lifestyle. You know, I train a lot, I eat healthy, you know, I live in isolated places, don't have too much social connections, and I want to show you like what that does to me as a person. I'm not gonna pretend like, you know, like everything's good, you know. So it was important for me to share the truth in that moment.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, now give me like I can jump to the next question, which is like, how do you manage your goals and beliefs while having a healthy social life?
Yeah. So I understand that my goals and beliefs, you know, are, you know, my goals and beliefs are, you know, connect to a social relationship life, and a healthy social life. My goals is to have a family, is to have a partner, and I understand that, you know, I'm so, you know, so tunnel vision, so focused on my goals as an athlete and as a successful coach that, you know, I do put a lot of time into it, and I understand that, you know, I'm sacrificing sometimes social connections. You know, and I do need to bring in a balance. You know, I do feel a sense of loneliness sometimes when I'm just stuck in my work and not really connecting with people. And, you know, my goals is to be happy as well. So, you know, having a healthy social life, you know, is part of my goals. And, I understand that, not only do I need to do the work for my, career, I need to do the work for my relationships to have to have the most ultimate happy and healthy life.
And build connections.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay. Next, what role, if any, plays sleep in your journey?
I'm sorry?
What role, if any, plays sleep in your journey?
Sleep.
Sleep.
Sleep is important.
Okay.
I try to get, 8 to 10 hours a night. It sounds like a lot, and our society tells, sometimes kind of, especially like fast-paced cities, like fast-paced cultures, some people say the sleep is for the weak, and I disagree with that. I think it's absolutely vital for peak performance and creativity. So I make sure to get to bed early. I find the earlier I go to bed, I also believe there's research and science behind it that, your melatonin and serotonin levels are at the right level for optimal recovery. To go to bed early before 10 p.m. ideally. So 8 to 10 hours before 10 p.m. And sleep is key. Sleep keeps me happy. It keeps me at my peak creativity and performance.
Wonderful. Okay, now what role, if any, plays diet in your journey?
Diet is also key. I do believe like the more I eat, the more I can do. I do believe that. As an athlete, we have to eat quite a bit,
You're a cyclist also, so you are burning crazy amounts
tons of calories, Yeah, there's long rides I'll do that I'll burn 5,000 calories in a ride. So, a sedentary male needs 2,500 calories to sustain, optimal energy levels. Imagine having to eat, 7,000 plus calories to have enough energy to be properly fueled and not lose weight. But, sometimes, when doing that amount of training, you'll tend to eat less calories and leads to weight loss, and it doesn't harm you too much. But diet keeps me fueled to optimally have a good work ethic. Sometimes I find that, I've reached these points in my life where I've been trying to cut weight. Because as an endurance athlete, weight plays an important role. And also like as I stated and as I discussed, like I sometimes have unhealthy relationship with body image. So in my past, I've sometimes restricted my calories, and I've noticed that it's led to less productive states. So diet is important for me if I'm fueling myself on whole food, plant-based foods, fruits, vegetables, cooked beans, legumes, starches. To me, all that food helps me to keep going and keep grinding out the long hours. Yeah.
Lovely. And how about exercise? I know you mentioned a lot, but can you elaborate a little bit? How important is in your journey?
Yeah. Well, exercise to me is more of a thing that I'm connected to, within my child self, my kid self. When I was younger, that was my passion, was sports, was moving my body. Some people are into music, some people are into painting, drawing. For me, it was moving my body and playing with my friends' sports and stuff. And ever since when I was younger, I always had this dream to be a professional athlete. And I'm still not willing to let that goal go. Even though I'm 23 and I know you gotta be on top of your game way early on, I'm a big dreamer and I'm a big believer to go still chase after it. So I have goals in triathlon and endurance sports to see maybe I can be a professional athlete and get paid to do what I love. But to me, what I love the most about endurance sports specifically is the empowerment from it. It was one way, I never had great work ethic. I feel like I developed great work ethic for my business, for working for others. Like the nitty gritty, computer business stuff. I felt like, that took time to develop that work ethic, and I felt like me developing that discipline first off with exercise and, sticking to a structured training plan has helped me develop a more proper work ethic outside of exercise and into my daily life. So to me, exercise is something I love doing. It's something that empowers me. I can't tell you like how much I love to come back from a cycling session where I'm just like buzzing because I'm like, holy crap, I can't believe I felt that strong. Like that is an incredible feeling. That's the best feeling in the world for me. So yeah, exercise to me is love, empowerment, and self-discipline.
I love it. And it's a way to challenge yourself and overcome yourself daily, right?
It's a way to push your limits.
Wonderful.
Yeah, find your potential, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now, what role, if any, plays contribution in your journey?
Contribution, it's pretty important. I'm gonna be honest though, like right now, like at the age I'm at, 23, I'm still really looking after myself. I find that I need to get mine before I can give to others. Fortunately, my jobs, coaching cyclists, sharing a positive, healthful message, I feel like is doing that. But I don't think too much about contribution. To me, these things are kind of selfish acts, to be honest. Like, not only am I trying to follow my passions of having purposeful work, but I'm also trying to sustain myself financially through, meaningful work. And, it's all selfish, but fortunately, like the acts and my jobs itself are helpful for people. And I do try my absolute best to look after my clients or look after my athletes and do everything I possibly can. But at the end of the day, I'm just like, I'm trying to survive on my passion. So right now, personally, I'm not thinking much about contribution. It just ends up being aligned with my work and what I like doing.
Exactly.
And I hope people are getting something out of it, But to be honest, I'm really just looking after myself.
Awesome. I believe through that you can contribute in your maximum potential as well. So if you're true to yourself and you are really taking care of yourself and you're following your meaning, your values, beliefs, you are giving your best self out there. So that's really like the best thing ever. So even though if you think it's selfish, it's in a nice way selfish. So if you are selfish in an honest way, that means that you are serving everyone by self-actualizing.
Yeah, cool, man.
So that's wonderful.
I'll keep that in mind.
Awesome. Okay, now let's go to any favorite affirmations. Do you have anything that would you like to share? Anything that you are telling yourself? Like, even if it is you're up the climb and you are ready to give up and you're like, I have to push through it. How do you make the jump? How do you overcome obstacles?
So lately what I've been feeling is that, sometimes I feel like my journey is kind of tough, I moved out when I was 18. I've been on my own since I was 18. I'm taking big risks by trying to build a business for myself and that I could financially support myself off of. I'm like going deep into my passions where the thoughts of like living a normal average life of going to school, getting a corporate job and getting paid $50,000 a year and having a nice house and a family and a car and some of those things I do want and that's security and I don't have that security. So, coming back to the affirmations, I sometimes feel like my path is kind of hard because I'm going after these really tough goals that I'm chasing after. And one of the biggest affirmations lately that I've been telling myself is that, your path might be difficult and someone might have it better at your age, at your timing. But I kind of like the adversity. I like the suffering because it builds you up as a person.
It builds character, right?
It builds fantastic character.
Exactly.
Like I'm looking at the person I'm evolving from adversities and I'm just like, things aren't coming that quick, I feel like I wish I made more money or, when I look at business, like sometimes I'm like, I wish I made more money. Like I'm barely just scraping by, barely surviving. But, and it sometimes puts a lot of stress on you and I know that I will get there to a comfortable place. And I look at, these tough times and the grind and the struggle, it's just building me up, man. And the most important part part, the most important part about this whole journey, you know, when I went vegan when I was 16, about 6 years ago, the main reason was to become my best self. I think that adversity is key to becoming your best self, so I try to look at that, and that's an affirmation I have to keep moving forward.
Lovely. Lovely. Okay, now imagine there is a guy named Bill.
Cool.
And he's feeling overwhelmed. He's feeling stuck in his life. He's feeling like everyone is against him. What is your best advice for him? Like, what should be his first step towards his higher self?
If he's feeling overwhelmed, stuck, feels like people are judging him,
He's feeling alone.
self-love. You gotta love yourself. You gotta understand that, you know, all these things that are coming up, feeling overwhelmed. Well, feeling overwhelmed is not being able to relax and not be super attached to the negative thoughts that are coming up. So I would recommend meditation. I would sit down every morning, you know, maybe start at 5 minutes, work your way up to 20 minutes if you can, and just sit there, you know, listen to the sounds around you, listen to your breath, and let the thoughts go, you know, understand that there's a few different states, you know, of our being. Sometimes we're, you know, in it, we're in the reality, we're in the thoughts, and sometimes we're just consciousness, we're just observers. So I think that's a way of, you know, curing the symptoms of being overwhelmed. And also, you know, feeling like everyone's against you, you know, maybe it could be true. Maybe people are against you. Maybe you're not in a supportful household. Maybe you're not around the right people. You might have to change your external environment. You might have to find new friends. If it's a mental issue that you just feel like maybe you traumatized from childhood that people are against you, then the self-love needs to come in, and you got to know your worth. You got to know your value. You got to tell yourself that you are the shit. You know, you are a good person. What's the other thing? Overwhelmed, people are against you, and feeling stuck.
Exactly.
And then feeling stuck, you got to go right into what you're thinking you want to do. You know, if you know what you want to do, go and do it.
Take action.
You want to create YouTube videos? Go and do it. You want to start exercise? Go and do it. It feels so freaking good. It feels so empowering. But if you don't know what to do, then it's time to taste. It's time to go try some things. You know, if you don't know what to do, like go paint, go draw, go create videos, go take photos, go try MMA, go try basketball, go try running, taste stuff. And when you find the thing that you love doing and you have somewhat of a talent in, and you want to feel accomplished and you want success, I guess this is what I would do. I would go all in on that, and I would put a lot of time and focus into it, especially if it makes you happy. So that's what
Wonderful.
That's my best advice to Bill.
I love the taste part. Like, go and taste if you're not sure.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, now, lastly, do you have any favorite resources that you want to share with us? Maybe a book, website, it could be a movie, it could be anything.
Yeah. I gotta give a lot of credit to Gary Vaynerchuk. If some people know him really well, you can see that maybe like there's some things that I'm saying that he would normally say. Is because he has a huge influence on my life. I've had like many role models and inspirations and heroes and mentors over the years, and they all shape you as a person and kind of you know, shape who you are and the message you promote. And I have to say Gary Vaynerchuk has been a huge help in my life. So look him up on YouTube. It's Gary V. Gary, no space, V-E-E. He's helped me a lot. He's taught me a lot about, he's kind of given me the permission that like, hey, you can actually go and chase after your dreams, you know, through an online business, or anything in the world. Like, it's more practical than you think. Like, he really helped me understand that. So I highly recommend Gary Vaynerchuk. And that's the main guy that's in the most recent years has helped me the most.
Awesome. It's funny because you saw my wallpaper in my laptop, or you didn't?
No.
Actually, I have a quote from Gary Vee.
Cool.
And it says like, contribution or something like this. Contribution should come with a full stop, not with a comma, and meaning that you shouldn't expect something from giving.
Right.
You should do it just for giving.
I love that too.
Yeah.
He's big on giving without expectation.
Yeah. It's lovely. Okay, I think that's it.
Cool, man.
Thank you so much. Like, I could talk for hours. Like, seriously.
man.
Let's continue this conversation in the festival. But
Cool.
Thank you so much for being here and give me the chance to offer value to everybody who's watching. That's amazing. So thank you so much again. Where can people find you? How can they contact you? Tell us a little bit about that.
Right. So I'd say 4 main platforms. You could directly email me, lovetheclimbcoaching@gmail.com. I'll answer any question you got, or if you want to reach out and just connect and talk, email is a fantastic place for it. If you're interested in the coaching services I offer, lovetheclimbcoaching.com is where I offer my cycling coaching predominantly. So if you're any cyclists out there and you need a coach, I'm here for you. And on YouTube, you'd really enjoy my videos. Love the Climb vlog on YouTube. Put a lot of love, a lot of work into my videos, and I think you'd really, really enjoy the videos if you like what I've been talking about. And then Instagram, at I Love the Climb, no spaces. I'm on Instagram for just a quick scroll through my feed.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Lovely. Okay. Thank you so much again.
Yeah, no problem.
Until next time, guys. Much love. See you.
Aloha.
Bye.
Awesome.